Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's officially been over 1 whole month since Valve last updated CS2, that being with a worthwhile patch. The last we heard from the devs was on the 4th of January, then following that on the 18th, that being 2 weeks later. The last update we received was thought to be by the community that Valve was mocking, or more so taunting, CS players based on their most recent blog and Twitter post. Today's video is going to be a commentary based on my recent thoughts surrounding CS2 right now and in the future. We have the major approaching very soon, but we also have some game-breaking issues and no word of fixes or any new content. This is a video that I've been holding out to make for quite some time, more so because it's not really ever fun to make these types of videos or talk about the state of CS2 or just Counter-Strike as a whole. But like we mentioned at the beginning of today's video, but also other videos, we haven't seen nor heard of any updates to come, mainly to do with fixing the game. I'm making this in the odd chance that someone at Valve or who has a connection that can just spread the word. I don't care if my video is used as an example, but I believe this message needs to be heard, as well as I feel like I speak for a lot of CS players in today's video. Today's video sponsor is SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a buying and trading marketplace where you can trade off your old skins for something new. All you do is log in with Steam, then you trade the skins you no longer want to pick up the new skins you want to obtain. Any remaining cash from trading goes to your balance that can be used in any future trade. By using my code MANDO, you can get up to a free $5, and if you choose to deposit alongside using my code, you get a total of a 35% deposit bonus. With SkinsMonkey's large variety of skins, they also offer daily, weekly, and monthly giveaways. If interested, it'll be the top of the link in the description below. Now, firstly, for today's video, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's been a month since Valve last had a game-changing update, if that's what you even want to call it, more so a bug fix. What sparked this video was based around recent comments I've gotten, but also by myself and my friends who have an interest in CS2, and if you also just take a look at the internet right now on the state of CS2, it's not very great. For the most part, it sucks. Right now, the game isn't awful. It's actually quite playable for the everyday Joe. In other situations, such as SubTick and a few others, I feel like when it comes to the everyday average player, those things are somewhat blown out of proportion. And I feel like also the reason those are brought up so much is because of players' anger of the smaller things that just aren't getting fixed and haven't been fixed since this game first came out almost a year ago. I'll give you an example. For instance, there's a very small bug, it's very annoying, and it's been here since the limited test. That being, you can't use graffitis without factory resetting your computer. Now, I'm joking, but applying a new one doesn't really work. Whenever you do, you have to restart your game, and even then, that sometimes doesn't do it. And I know, boo-hoo, graffitis, and 90% of the people using them, if not more, are getting them from drops, but it's just the small things like that here and there that are just really annoying. Then you have the big problems such as update bugs, where we saw IPs getting leaked. If you joined a deathmatch, someone could throw up your IP on screen. Then you had the false game bans, where there was probably a 90% chance that your Steam account was going to get a game ban. Doesn't matter if you played CS2 recently, most people didn't even have to appeal it, but the fact of the matter is that shouldn't have happened in the first place. And the repercussions after that for those people who got falsely game banned, well, they had a really bad trust factor, and Prime wasn't really working for them, so they were queued up with cheaters. Doesn't matter who you were queued with in your party as well. And then you have SubTick. Like we mentioned previously, the SubTick for the average Joe, they're not really going to care nor notice, but CS2 right now, and has been, it's hard-coded to 64 tick, and 128 tick has been taken away, even from places like Faceit. But why? What did the pros and hardcore players do to deserve this? I don't really understand why it's been taken away in the first place. Now, I'm semi-kidding with that, but communication of why or why not something can happen goes a long way. And then you have the anti-cheat situation. Back as it stands right now needs to go. It's currently a decade old. Out with the old and in with the new. Now, luckily, I haven't seen any blatant cheaters, at least over here in North America, but for the amount of comments and posts I see on my social media, but just all of the internet as a whole about CS2 and cheaters specifically, with the amount of posts and the amount of comments, I've never seen a game or an audience talk about one thing, specifically a problem, more than I ever have before. And it's not too hard for someone to connect the dots that something is actually happening here, and I believe Valve needs to listen. Now, swaying away from the core gameplay problems at hand, there's dozens of other unresolved issues here too, that being the missing content from CSGO. I believe some of the reason that Valve didn't put everything from CSGO into CS2, especially just at launch, was I believe they were just crunched for time. There's no other way to put it. And then the cherry on top is new content. I've seen others give their take on this, I have as well. I think for the most part, everyone before a new case or an operation gets added, people just want the game to be playable and in a very good state. But then again, we are gamers and Counter-Strike fans, people are going to complain even if we got a new anti-cheat. You know, a new map every once in a while, or just something from CSGO to be reintroduced into CS2, even if it's in the casual or deathmatch, it's something different to play that's in the official Valve servers. I get there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't understand nor even see, but you make $1 billion a year just off cases alone. I don't think one map is too much to ask for here. With all that being said, I now want to give my side of things and my take, since I feel like the majority of this video so far, I've just been speaking for the community, because those people don't really have a voice for anyone to hear. Now, I myself recently have stopped playing CS2, at least not as much as I have played CS this past year, that being Global Offensive, other CS games, or even dating back to when CS2 first fully released back in October. I was playing every day for just a few hours. Now I'm lucky to get on for maybe an hour a day, aside from recording the odd video or two, or just doing some research. Premiere in CS2 matchmaking, for what it is actually pretty good, at least when you don't play somebody who is clearly better than your rank when they're in your rank, and then they're sus, they make the game not fun, and matchmaking becomes unbalanced. When you get past a certain amount of elo in Premiere, starts to become a little unplayable. You start to run into people who toggle, don't necessarily rage hack, but make the game unplayable and not very fun. And then on top of that, you have small things such as input delay or lag, which a lot of the problems with Counter-Strike 2 has to do with SubTick. Obviously and clearly not an anti-cheat, that's not from SubTick. It's just simple movements. For an example, if you're walking down mid on Barrage and you click W, sometimes won't register right away. It'll take maybe half a second to actually pull you forward. And then sometimes you have the ghost keys. You'll just be sitting somewhere on the map, maybe with an op, and your guy will start randomly walking. And it feels like you're just on a slip and slide while you're playing, and it's not fun. I've gone over this a couple times in other videos, but your network connection to CS2 is really weird in this game, which I also believe has a lot to do with SubTick. If you have 50 ping inside CS2, it is not 50 ping from CSGO. It feels more like 80 or 90 ping in CSGO. Maybe we can do a video on that in the future. I'm not really sure. In 4 Premier, I get that they want the professional map pool in there. It's great. But you gotta switch it up every once in a while to keep players engaged. And I think we all have to do some understanding of why Counter-Strike is so successful. If it ain't broke, don't fix, and Valve has done exactly just that. And right here is primarily why I made the video. Maybe it's just me thinking too hard, but I'm afraid that we're going back to the days of CSGO where we would only get one big update a year, and slowly as time progresses, they'll just stop to care. That be to make any changes, add any new content, or just fix small and big bugs. At the end of the day, Valve makes roughly $1 billion a year just off cases alone. Is it that hard to ask for simple things to be fixed? And that pretty much concludes today's commentary. I'm sorry if it's turned out to be more of a rant than a normal video. For those of you wondering, since I'm not really playing CS as much as of right now, at least as I was compared to when CS2 first came out or even last year, I'm going to continue to upload content to this YouTube channel and hopefully come up with some more original ideas. I still have a creative passion and love for CS, I just don't want to play it as religiously as I did just a little while ago, if that makes any sense to y'all. That being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.